Good evening. It is the Earthmaster back here on this Friday night. It is August 18th, 2023. About 10:33 p.m. here, California time. Latest quake here on the Earthquake 3D globe. Somewhere down here, looks like a 3.0 down into the South America region. The latest quake on the Earthquake 3D globe. Now, looking at the hurricane out here, Hurricane Hilary. Looking at the latest satellite imagery here, shows it approaching the Baja California area. Expected to reach up here pretty soon. Although it is expected to weaken, it still will bring significant impacts there to the Baja California area, where we're currently underneath a hurricane warning. A little bit further up north here, into the area of the north of the warning area, there's a hurricane watch. Now, once we get up here to Southern California, a very rare, in the blue right here, tropical storm warning. And that includes, Los Angeles, Long Beach, Oceanside, San Diego. First ever tropical storm warning. Now, I don't believe they're going to upgrade this to a hurricane watch or anything hurricane related. We're expected to weaken drastically here. As far as the hurricane goes, once it does start to make its way up into the Baja California area, how much it weakens will obviously remain. We'll have to see how it goes, right? It is still looking pretty strong. Let's check out the latest information here from the National Hurricane Center here. As of 9 p.m., this is Mountain Time. This will be up. They update this every 3 hours, by the way. It's not every hour, so this is why it looks like it's behind. The next update will be at 12, so technically 11 o'clock my time here in about 25 minutes or so. They'll come out with the latest information. But as of right now, 130 mile per hour sustained wind, still at a Category 4 hurricane. As of this previous message, we'll see what the latest update brings. Headed towards the northwest at about 13 miles per hour. It is expected to stay as a hurricane up into the point where it reaches the area here just south of Southern California, where it's expected to be a tropical storm, which is still pretty going to be pretty windy down there. A lot of rain coming into Southern California about 6 p.m. Sunday. Once it gets up here to the north, we're talking about tropical depression. So it looks like landfall right about now. They've kind of upped this up a little bit, maybe because the speed that it's picked up here slightly. But this was a little bit on the later side there towards Sunday night, Monday morning. But now it looks like it's advanced a little bit, right around 6 p.m. Sunday. Tropical storm, Southern California. Again, currently looking at the areas out here and the projected path. There's a slight cone of uncertainty, but for the most part, looks like it's on cue. There is a tropical storm warning for Southern California, roughly about Los Angeles southward. In the pink there, hurricane watch. Red is the most serious one right now. That's a hurricane warning. So almost a guarantee that they're going to see at least hurricane force winds there. Looking at the arrival time of some winds here. Now, doesn't look like they've shown anything up here right now. I'm not for sure why. But maybe they're working on it. Saturday, 8 p.m. Let's see what we got here. Wind speed probabilities. Still expected. They're about 70% chance there. It looks like Southern California, San Diego, of seeing tropical storm force winds. So that's still pretty decent. A little bit less chance as you get inland, but of course this is all going to weaken slightly as it head towards the Baja California area, and of course significantly will be less of a system once it does make landfall there in Southern California. Current rainfall potential here still shows a pretty good amount of rainfall across Southern California, talking of upwards around 6 inches of rain. I don't see any 10 inches on the map, potentially right about here, it looks like, in certain areas around, what is that, Death Valley area, it looks like, potentially. Either way, most regions should see, including Los Angeles area, between 2 to 4 inches in the yellow. It's going to be about 4 inches in the orange. 6 inches, between 6 to 10 inches. There's a little spot up here. I see just a little bit of red in that area, indicating maybe some locally heavier precipitation out there across Southern California. And it looks like for now, this storm system is going to make its way off towards Nevada as originally planned. Doesn't look like Northern California is expected to get too much. Here's your flash flooding potential. They have enhanced this to a high possibility. Across the areas, it looks like, maybe the Salton Sea area westward slightly. And then just up north of that area into the, it's kind of pink-purple category here, at least 70%. That's about as high as it can go. So we're almost guaranteed at seeing some flooding out here within this area. Los Angeles, San Diego area in the moderate category for flash flood risk. So no joke. This is not a joke. Definitely still holding steady. Let me check out the GOES image here. This is the latest image here from the GOES 16 satellite, showing the geocolor. Beautiful, well-defined eye over here still, just off the coast of Baja California. And of course, we'll continue to monitor that and keep you guys updated. You can see the weakening status right here. It looks like maybe right before you get into Southern California there, 65 mile per hour wind forecast on 5 p.m. So that will drop it down. That's going to be on Sunday, 5 p.m. So that will drop it down to a tropical storm, and then of course it will move northward and weaken even further. But there is definitely some uncertainty right here. The cone of uncertainty could bring it further to the west or further to the east. So we'll watch that. These things are, you can't accurately predict them at all. But we'll continue to watch this hurricane as it makes its path northward here towards the Southern California area. Goodness. Let's check out the numerical models here with the forecasted areas around the West Coast. I don't want to zoom in that close. So Western United States. Here we go. This is the GFS model. One of the latest here, it looks like. And we're just going to put this into motion and see how it wants to go. It definitely still, at least on this most recent model, still shows a more north and an eastward direction compared to headed up towards Northern California. So it looks like Nevada going to get quite a bit of soaking out there in the desert, which is good, right? Gotta soak the desert once in a while. But yeah, there's your precipitation, heavy precipitation rainfall amounts there across Southern California. And a look at the 24-hour accumulated precipitation map here. I want to look at the total and see what we got. This is as it comes in here. There's still quite a bit down here. It looks like it's a little bit more enhanced than what it did, what it looked like earlier this morning. You can see that region down here. A little bit of orange showing up, so it looks like maybe 8, 9, maybe up around the 10-inch range there. Again, around certain areas north of the Salton Sea area, as that's where the National Hurricane Center has that purple area. That's the highest risk possible there for flash flooding. So it looks like things are gonna, they're definitely going to happen here in Southern Cal. So we'll continue to watch this, of course, and report on it. I do have the live stream up and running. I'll probably bring up the webcam down there in Southern California to monitor the incoming arrival of Hurricane Hilary, along with that live stream. So we'll see, I'll get a little view on everything. What's this? Hurricanes. Yeah, hold on a second here. See what these guys have on it. This is actually kind of neat. They give a little overview on the current conditions. Pressure at 2799. Wind speed 130 miles per hour with Hilary. And then some other tropical depressions out here. This kind of shows the general arrival of the times. Estimated wind speed. I kind of like Windy. It's an all-in-one app. I'm not even joking. I pay for the premium version. You get all this extra stuff and forecasts and whatnot. So it's definitely worth it. If you're looking for an all-in-one app, the Windy app is a way to go. So this is going to be your... I'll bring up the wind gust here and see what we have. It's a pretty high wind gust in there. But Category 4, as we are chatting, It looks like it may start to drop here tomorrow at about 1,700 to 109 miles per hour. That's the estimate here. So Category 2. And then after that, weakening even further. Now, if this thing continues to hold steady and strengthen, or at least stay consistent here, then we expect the potential for damages, or at least the effects from this hurricane, to be stronger in Southern California. So we'll watch this tomorrow and see how this develops. See if it intensifies or if it stays steady. Tomorrow's going to be a big day, and of course Sunday as well. Here is Sunday, the 20th, about 1700 time frame, 63 mile per hour. They're just south of the border. Monday looks like around 5 or so in the morning. I guess that's 5 in the morning, or is that 5? Yeah, it's got to be 5 in the morning. Tropical depression status, 34 mile per hour winds up there. So that's still kind of a huge deal, right, to have this thing develop like this. Now notice it is fighting against some upper level winds here, some pressure differences, and that is all coming from this massive Pacific high pressure system that's turning clockwise out here. If that wasn't here, say if we had a low pressure system right here, this thing could easily glide into Northern California, and I think the effects would be much more damaging. But this high pressure system is keeping that kind of squashed, so it's going to be struggling to head northward as it makes its journey. Either way, something to watch out for. I see quite a few storm chasers heading out to Southern California. I really wish I could have got down there, but I have my fall semester classes. I start Monday, and I have a few things I need to do before my early morning classes on Monday, so unfortunately I can't be down there. I really wish I could. I had planned on it, but I just couldn't put everything together, so maybe next time, hopefully. Either way, I'll be out here all weekend covering it, making sure everything's up to date, and the latest information is out here on Hurricane Hilary. But I'm probably going to pick up a webcam down here across the, maybe just the San Diego area, around the beach area. I'm kind of curious to see what kind of swells might come up here, how this hurricane's going to affect areas around the beach. I think it might be something cool to watch on the webcam, so we'll key that up probably sometime tomorrow on the live stream, Hilary live stream. All right, let's see what else is there. There's another view of it. Beautiful, well-defined eye. Again, we'll watch for either continual strengthening or a rapid decline around the eye wall if this thing's starting to break down. I think we'll notice the effects probably tomorrow, starting tomorrow, on if this thing is going to weaken or not. All right, earthquake activity. What do we got here? By the way, I did add the EMSC data back onto the globe. The reason why certain areas having some swarms out here, and more specifically out here in the Baja California area, right as the hurricane's approaching. Now, the odd thing is here, we've seen hurricanes in certain regions trigger earthquakes due to the pressure differences out here. Of course, some very low pressure. I believe firmly that systems, high pressure, low pressure systems, can affect the plate dynamics out here, strain in the plate. We studied in a class there where I'm going to school, natural hazards and disasters, how typhoons and hurricanes can somewhat trigger activity over here across the Japan region. It's happened in the past. So I'm kind of watching this area to see how this hurricane affects earthquake activity out here across Southern California. Again, you dump 20 inches, or not 20 inches, 10 inches of rainfall out here on this fault system that locked and loaded pretty much from the surface down. What's that going to do? You guys think about that? I know a lot of people don't think that, but they're more concerned with the flooding. But say, it's a wide area. It's not just one thunderstorm that's going to pop up here on the southern end and drop a few inches. We're talking about massive areas of the southern branch of the San Andreas Fault getting covered with some heavy-duty rainfall. Is that going to be enough lubrication to make this one go, make the big one happen? Well, I tell you what, we haven't had an event like this in a very long time. Southern California, yes, they get thunderstorms, monsoonal moisture, but not a big dumping of rain in a wide area across a majorly locked plate boundary. You know, I think if it's going to do it, it's going to do it soon after all this rainfall starts. So we'll keep an eye on the accumulated precipitation, the actual amounts out here after all is said and done, and then we'll be watching this very closely. There is that swarming out here south of the Mexicali area, quite a few 2s and 3s kicking up. Now it looks like the EMSC model here is picking up a little bit more activity in that region as well. It looks like another cluster of earthquakes a little bit further down on the earthquake 3D globe. Let's see what we got further up north. A handful of quakes here just west of the Salton Sea. 2.1 near the Ocotella Wells area. Generally active out here across or at least eastern portions here of the Los Angeles area near Rancho Cucamonga. All this activity right up against the plate boundary here. So things are, you know, they've been building up, folks. They've been building up for well over 300 years. This thing has not had a major rupture along the southern branch of the San Andreas Fault in 300 years. Don't believe me? Go check it out. We talking about it a lot. This thing is ready. It is ready. The question is, will Hilary trigger it? That's the question of the century, maybe. 3.0. This earthquake coming in earlier this afternoon. It looks like just off the Garlock Fault shear zone. Ridgecrest going to be getting in on quite a bit of rainfall as well. Long Valley supervolcano, some small microquake activity in the last 24 hours. And Northern California, a handful of quakes underneath the Lake Almanor area. Nothing big. Just a couple 2s there for the afternoon time period, it looks like. Oregon and Washington, a couple smaller quakes around the Mount St. Helens, Mount Rainier area. So let's double check that and see what we got up there. Here is the Cascadia Tremor. Nothing. Zip 0 for now. Very quiet. Volcanic seismicity around Mount St. Helens here. We should see some of those smaller earthquakes that are being reported here about the southwestern flank of the volcano. This station right here should work just fine. These don't look like earthquakes. These do, though. There's 2 back-to-back right there. When were those earthquakes? Let me see here. See these right here, the 2 that are back-to-back, 0341, 0341, 1.2, and a 1.4. Those are going to be these earthquakes right there about 3 o'clock in the morning. Local time right here, see 3 o'clock. And here's a smaller one there that occurred earlier this earlier in... Well, what is this? Let's see, negative 0.5. Let me go back here. It looks like another smaller quake here, but remember these 2 are generally small itself. Some of this activity, I'm not for sure what it is. This more drawn out activity. It doesn't look like earthquake activity, but there was definitely a couple there earlier this morning there at Mount St. Helens. All right, let's get back here to the chart. Yellowstone National Park, a couple smaller earthquakes out here across the northwestern corner of Wyoming. Nothing major going on there at the super volcano. And some activity outside of Pecos, Texas here. A couple 3s stirring up here. Kansas, what's going on in Kansas up here? 2.6 coming in the last hour. Let's see what we got for the satellite imagery up here. Wow, goodness. A lot of farmland. Looks like a pixelated Minecraft game or something. That's crazy. So I'm not for sure if they have any oil fields out here. I do know. Yeah, it's hard to see. I don't really see any. Maybe someone that's familiar with this area can help me out on that. Not really seeing any oil fields northeast of Greensburg. It looks like. Not seeing anything listed up here on the map. It doesn't mean that there isn't any. This one was pretty deep, though, about 10 kilometers deep. It's not really in a major seismically hazardous area either. But Kansas does see some quakes on occasion. Looks like a little bit up here as well, 2.3 near Hope, Kansas. Sounds like a beautiful place. 10 kilometers deep for that earthquake as well. Eastern portion of the country, pretty quiet. And again, we're watching a little bit of activity stirring up out here across the Middle America Trench. This is the EMSC model once again. Got a 3.6 coming in as we speak in the green flag. About 10 kilometers deep there just off the coast of Costa Rica area, it looks like. Very minimal movement here across the Puerto Rico area in the last couple days. I'm sure that will kick up, though. A little bit of divergent boundary out here across the Easter Island area. This is the separation of the oceanic crust. That should ultimately potentially apply further strain and stress out here across South America and potentially up here as well. South America region having quite a few twos and threes, even a couple fours mixed in there. 4.8 out here in the divergent boundary of the mid-Atlantic ridge. And there's a little bit of uptick here across the Mediterranean. Nothing big going on. 4.8 out here in eastern Afghanistan. That's going to be this earthquake right here. Looks like USGS reporting a 4.6, but still some deeper activity. Well, one earthquake out here across the Himalayas near Nepal. 4.3 from earlier this morning. There's that earthquake there in the Indonesia Islands area. Banda Sea region, pretty deep earthquake. I believe this activity up here around the Sea of Osaka is from earlier. Looks like that 4.5 from 1 o'clock this morning. 4.9 here, Japan area. And over here, around the Tonga region, let's see what we got. There's not a whole lot of anything over here across the Tonga area. This is our majorly quiet area. We did see a little bit of activity here this morning. It looks like a 4.9. Not for sure why it's not being reported on the globe. There we go. But that's our quiet zone. Look at that. Not a whole lot of activity currently taking place here. I'm sure that will fill in. Also some activity out here across Australia. That was a, looks like a 3.1 earthquake. Let's see here. That's not what I wanted. But, yeah, a little bit of earthquake activity across the Australia area, which has been happening a lot, it seems like. 3.4 off the northwestern coast as well. So, yeah, we'll just definitely continue to watch the hurricane coming in. As far as space weather activity, that's been a very significant nothing going on here. Not a whole lot of flaring kicking up. 99% chance for a C flare, supposedly. M flare at 20, X flare around 1%. There's not a whole lot of active regions there on the sun currently. There is our latest look at the UV filter. Notice this bright image, bright sunspot region on the southeastern limb. That's about the only active area that we're monitoring. Has not been named yet, but even from this angle, it does not look all that complex. Just a mess of sunspots here lately. A little bit of development up around this center core, but I don't think that's going to do anything dramatic. So we'll just continue to watch this, see if things pick up. Just a little quiet period right now on the sun, while things are active here on Earth with hurricanes and earthquakes. Storm Prediction Center here over the next couple days, of course, with all this rain coming in to the Southern California area. There's enhanced, or not enhanced, but there's potential to see some severe wind gusts from thunderstorms that may brew up out here across the Southern California area and into Nevada. But right now, it doesn't look like anything major is set up in terms of that severe potential, aside from the flooding potential. That's kind of a big deal as Hurricane Hilary continues to track northward. Now look at these tops over here. These thunderstorms are blowing up across Mexico, but the tops are getting blown off and shredded towards the southeast, and that is due to the pressure differences out here in the upper level. So this thing is going to be coming into some resistance. We'll watch for further weakening tomorrow. I believe it's probably going to happen. How soon, how late, we'll check up on it tomorrow and see, though. For now, have a good night, stay safe out there. Again, the latest information here on the hurricane can be found at the National Hurricane Center.noaa.gov. All the potential flash flooding issues out here, all the warnings, cones, everything can be found out here across the area. And on the map here of the National Hurricane Center, it's all publicly available to everyone out here. So here's the wind history. Of course, the tropical cyclone is going to be out away from the main center of circulation, the eye, so to speak, of the hurricane. Hurricane force winds within the eye, or around the wall, not within the eye, but around the eye wall. Public advisory. Let's see here. This one was put out. This is a pretty recent one. Looks like they've just updated it. Yeah, so they just updated it. Hold on a second here. Right now, it still shows maximum sustained winds here of 130 miles per hour. That's 215 kilometers per hour. Moving towards the northwest at about 13 miles per hour. Minimum pressure 2793. So this is the latest. Let's see here. That's 12 a.m. Let me go back here and look at this. Is this the latest information here? 9 p.m.? No, they haven't updated it. So I was looking at the Florida time. But this should be updated here really soon. Kind of curious to see if the winds have dropped or not, as far as that the status goes. Either way, I hope to see you guys over on the Hilary live stream. Been updating that. That actually updates itself, and we'll keep that on. And of course, monitor activity. I will be adding again. I'll be adding a webcam for the viewers tomorrow from Southern California somewhere. And we'll watch this as the hurricane continues to track north. Wanted to check something here real quick. See what we got for... oh, you know what? Hold on. You guys got to see this. I should have done this earlier. Down here... I'll show you guys... we're now able to see the NAM 3KM model. Now this is basically where we'll see most of the storms or convection pop up. There is going to be a line of activity, thunderstorm activity popping up here in Southern Cal, working its way up north prior to the arrival of Hurricane Hilary. But you'll see these bands of rain here. This is basically what you could see on radar as it comes over. Look at that heavy duty rain. Area of circulation going right over San Diego. And of course, most of the brunt of the moisture and the storm is going to be on that northeastern section of the center, the low pressure. Well, hurricane shows the low right here, and that's all going to track northward. That should be what the radar will look like here in the coming days. So be prepared. You got dry, dead grass now down there. It won't be dead for long because there's a lot of rainfall. Going to give a good soaking down there. But if you notice, it's right smack dab there across the San Andreas Fault. It's just, we haven't seen anything like that at all. Monsoonal moisture normally comes up and work its way into Southern California, but to dump this much rain in a wide area over a spring, the plate boundary, the San Andreas Fault, we'll watch it, right? This could be a historic event. Hurricane followed up by a mega quake. Goodness. All right, folks. Either way, just be prepared. Stay safe. Make sure you have a tropical storm plan in Southern California. I can't believe I'm saying that. And, of course, an earthquake plan. It's always a good time to be prepared as far as earthquake activity goes. And this would be a test as far as this rainfall. Soaking a major plate boundary. That's, me and many other people have said it, locked and loaded. All right, folks, we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow. And a real quick glance here at the earthquake activity again. Not a whole lot of activity. It looks like a 4.2 popping up just within the last half an hour, 20 minutes or so around the Tajikistan area. Live seismograph stations here. Cone Peak, Hawaii. We forgot Hawaii. I've noticed, though, A lot of the activity has died down here across the Kilauea volcano for now. But I think things may kick back up. I'll definitely continue to watch the Big Island of Hawaii. Have a good night, folks. We'll catch you guys back here sometime tomorrow, Saturday. Take care.